It's the film that no one wanted or thought would actually make it to theaters. But it's here! Solo: A Star Wars Story is a movie that you can go and see right now. And somehow isn't a complete mess. Ron Howard has famously come in as the director and reshot, retooled what had previously been Phil Lord and Christopher Miller's film before they were fired. And I think Ron coming in was the best decision that could have been made by Lucasfilm because he makes it work. The man has a very storied history with George Lucas, having directed Willow and almost directing The Phantom Menace, in addition to starring in American Graffiti. So if you are someone who's aware of this history and always wondered what a Ron Howard directed Star Wars film would be, then you're definitely going to get a kick out of this film. The man who knows Han Solo best, Lawrence Kasdan, returns to the saga to rewrite the screenplay with his son Jonathan, giving us the story of the young Han Solo and how he becomes the outlaw that we all know him to be. As has been hotly debated on the internet, Alden Ehrenreich takes over the role of Han Solo from Harrison Ford. And I'm going to tell you, watching Alden as Han Solo was a ton of fun. I think he absolutely nails the character of Han, the scoundrel, the pilot, always walking away with a smile. It's everything that you expect Harrison Ford's Han Solo to be, while being Alden's own version. Here, Han isn't quite as cynical as we see him later on, being your younger, fresh-faced idealist, while still maintaining the Han mannerisms and traits that we all love. This movie is Han's origin, with him meeting Chewbacca and Lando Calrissian for the first time, which for Star Wars fans is a lot of fun. This movie is very much dedicated to the Star Wars fans, and can be described as essentially 2 hours of fan service, with a lot of moments that we've all heard about in the saga taking place here. And look, fan service doesn't make a film good. In fact, nostalgia is used far too much these days to distract from any faults a film may have. The fan service in here is enjoyable if you're a long-time fan, especially with one huge cameo that is worth checking out alone. But you can still watch this movie as a pure, fun, pulpy Star Wars adventure as well. This isn't so much a movie that progresses the Star Wars mythos as a whole, rather it fills in some of the gaps, as you can expect from a prequel. Seeing some of these elements play out on the big screen is a lot of fun, with many entertaining callbacks and references for things to come. Is it an essential Star Wars film that transforms the series? No, but it never tries to be anything other than this fun adventure set in a Star Wars universe. Better yet, Solo feels like Star Wars. The look of the film with the droids, costumes, and aliens all look straight out of the original trilogy, and John Powell does a great job with the score, which actually makes me wish he'd done the score for Rogue One as well. And I am a sucker for when any of the John Williams themes or motifs pop up in these newer films, because yeah, they got me here too. Not all of the characters are as well developed or explored as much as I would have liked. Paul Bettany's Dryden Voss is essentially the film's main antagonist and has some presence, but overall isn't in the movie a great deal and doesn't stick with you quite like Krennic did in Rogue One. There is an attempt to explore the shady nature of these seedy underworld characters, but they never come off quite as memorable as previous Star Wars villains. Of course, Donald Glover's Lando Calrissian is a standout in the film, and he's used just the right amounts, enough to warrant wanting to see more in the future. But Han and Chewie's relationship really is the heart of this story, and the fact that we can watch another actor bond perfectly well with Chewie just makes this film work entirely. And although there is some effort to explain more of Han's backstory and upbringing, this movie seems more focused on reliving things that we expect to see from Han. Emilia Clarke is interesting as Kira, Han's love interest in the film, and is used in an interesting Bonnie and Clyde style fashion, while Woody Harrelson as Han's mentor Beckett is great as the man who teaches Han what he knows. This movie suffers a lot from a lot of supporting characters that don't add a great deal to the film, or are used more as a tool to support our main heroes. Meaning when something happens to some of these supporting characters, you're not exactly mourning for them. A stark contrast to the characters in Rogue One. Some characters such as the droid L337 is kind of used to emulate K2SO from Rogue One, but to more forgettable results. There is some dialogue in the film that feels a little too on the nose, and was clearly referencing current societal issues that I'm sure some people will take issue with. While Star Wars of course has analogies with the real world, these analogies are never used in a way that stand out, and are more smartly interwoven in the subtext. Having more direct real-life references here felt off. This film still incorporates a fair bit of humor as well, which feels like the work of Lord and Miller, although there are moments with certain CG characters where the humor just falls completely flat. Ultimately, whether you see Solo depends on how much you care about the franchise. If you're a diehard, you've already seen it, but if you're someone who's not entrenched in the saga's lore, you may not be all too fussed about the film's fan service and nostalgia. The fan service will definitely get fans talking, so if you are on the edge, I'd say go and see the film before you get things spoiled for you. Nothing in the film is quite as jaw-dropping as the Vader scene in Rogue One, but if you are a fan, there will be moments that you'll want to talk about. Solo bravely brings a bright young face to a beloved character, and I couldn't be happier with the results. Yes, the movie has shortcomings, and a lot of people will be calling the film unnecessary, but if you want an enjoyable, easily digestible adventure set in the Star Wars universe, you could definitely do far worse. Solo: A Star Wars Story gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Guys, I hope you like like this review. If you want to see more reviews just like this one, stay right here for your Mono Fix. Bye guys.